watching Color 10 News at 10 in high definition.
This black smoke you see here means the new pope has not yet been chosen. Catholic cardinals voted once today, and they will resume their conclave tomorrow morning. Good evening, I'm Ashley Ketz. The next leader of the Catholic Church must figure out how to juggle religion, politics, money, and technology. New tonight at 10, our Kevin Schwaller found out other denominations here in the Ozarks face similar challenges.
Springfield Cape Girardeau Diocese Bishop James Johnston says he hopes the Holy Spirit and God are guiding the conclave, and when the white smoke arises from the chimney, the new pope will face modern challenges. We spoke with both an Assemblies of God pastor and a Catholic bishop.
I think right now the selection of the Pope highlights a challenge that a lot of leaders face dealing with church.
Pastor Jeremy Johnson with North Point Church in Springfield says these days there isn't the same respect for authority.
Now people aren't necessarily looking for authority, but they're looking for authenticity. What we do with what we know is way more important than what we say about what we know.
And then there are issues such as abortion. Pew Research polls found most Americans do not want Roe v. Wade overturned, including 63% of white Catholics. More Americans now favor gay marriage than those who oppose it, and few Catholics see using contraceptives as morally wrong, even though the church doesn't allow it.
What I want to do is say, hey, let's look at Scripture together. What are you hearing? What are you saying? And then if I can love despite the control, if I can love without trying to change anyone's lives. I mean, I can barely control my own life. I'm not trying to control everyone else's lives.
Bishop James Johnson says the new pontiff faces global issues along with those in the Ozarks.
The relatively small number of Catholics in southern Missouri, I think it's going to be important for the next pope to be able to facilitate and encourage dialogue among not only believers, other Christians, but also people of other faiths.
Now, Pew Research found when it asked Catholics that what their biggest issues were, the most important problem by far is the sex abuse scandal, followed by dishonesty and low credibility, and then that the church is outdated and out of touch.
Very interesting. Thanks, Kevin. Some teachers are using the conclave in Rome as a tool to teach the history of the faith. At St. Agnes Catholic School here in Springfield, teachers say they hope the televised selection process helps students appreciate the importance choice before the Cardinals.
And these young people of today are going to be the leaders, in some ways already are the leaders of the church of today, and I think seeing it, feeling like they're a part of it, and seeing the history happen, then they are better ready to step forward and be of service to their community, to their church, to the people of the world.
I think it'll be great to have a new start, and maybe it'll get better, hopefully.
This has been like the first time since the 1200s that the Pope has been retiring in his years as being a Pope and not just dying from being a Pope.
If a Pope in the future were to change the way the system works and girls were allowed to become Pope, then we want to know about the process so that we could possibly become a Pope.
It's a good feeling inside that I get to be a part of history and know that there is going to be a new leader in our church.
And be sure to stay with Color 10 for continuing coverage of the conclave. You'll also find continuous updates on our website, ozarksfirst.com. Jamie Warner is keeping a close eye on the cold temperatures in the Ozarks.
Yeah, and it looks like another cold night across the area. It was a chilly day today across the area, but not too far off the average highs for this time of the year. That sunshine helping. We made it up to 53 this afternoon in Springfield, over 10 degrees warmer than yesterday's high. So yeah, nice little pop in the temperatures today. This won't last. It looks like the chilly weather will linger through Wednesday. We did have some cloud cover earlier this evening to the north and east of Springfield, even a few light showers impacting areas like Lake Ozark and Camdenton and Waynesville over through Rolla. That activity's gone. Skies are clear and temperatures are cooling off now into the 30s in most areas along and north of I-44. 37 in Springfield. It's in the 40s still south of I-44, but everybody's going below freezing, so it'll be a frosty start to your Wednesday with temperatures in the mid-20s. By noon, we'll be up to near 40, Afternoon highs tomorrow only near 50 degrees, but skies will be fairly bright until about the end of the afternoon. That's when some clouds will roll in. Later this week, still looking like a big warm up. This weekend, looking rather wet and turning cooler too. I'll have all of this in your full forecast coming up.
Thanks, Jamie. Soldiers who are also students now feel the cut of sequestration when it comes to their tuition help. The soldiers just received word about the abrupt halt of the federal tuition assistance fund. Color 10's Laurie Patton found out many students and the people who are serving them are scrambling.
Military police officer Jeff Neal is also a Missouri State University student.
I was taking a heavy course load, so I would take about 18 credit hours, and I would use up all my federal tuition, and after I would use up all my federal, I'd have to use my state tuition for the second semester.
Sergeant Neal is ready to graduate with a degree in construction management, but he says the suspension of the federal tuition assistance funds will hurt student soldiers.
They're going to have to take a smaller course load.
Neal was deployed to Iraq for a year, so his goal was to finish college quickly.
Some of our students are nervous about coming back to school because they won't be able to afford it without that benefit.
Jennifer Kotzman is the Veteran Student Services representative at MSU.
Nobody was warned ahead of time.
Students called in a panic when they received this letter.
For the summer and the fall semesters right now, our students will not be able to use their federal tuition assistance benefit.
Missouri National Guard Master Sergeant Les Clancy says the Guard will still have the state tuition program.
Is it going to impact soldiers? Yes, it's going to impact it with losing the federal funding tuition, but at the same time, we're still going to be able to help out soldiers with the state funding.
Still, students and those who help them are working to make up for it.
It's very disappointing, and what we're trying to do on campus is to come up with some sort of an emergency plan for these students, because if they relied on that benefit in order to stay in school, we're now scrambling to try to find other financial benefits that can help them stay in school.
That letter goes on to say this suspension will be re-examined when the, quote, fiscal situation matures. Master Sergeant Clancy also says this will also force some soldiers to examine why they are serving. Clancy says their first duty is service to their country, and the tuition programs are a benefit for their service. In Color 10's political coverage, Arkansas's House of Representatives cannot vote on a voter ID bill. That's because one member used a procedural move to stop the vote. Representative Jim Nichols says the bill needs a 2/3 majority to pass because it alters an amendment to the state constitution. But the bill's sponsor thinks a simple majority is enough.
Unless something's totally out there that I don't know about, I think that it should be voted on the House floor.
We may as well deal with the constitutional issue in this building instead of in the courts.
The photo voter ID bill already passed the state Senate. Investigators in Arkansas are searching ditches and ponds for a missing girl. An Amber Alert is issued for 14-year-old Sydney Randall. Investigators believe her stepfather abducted her, but he was found dead yesterday. This all began in Walnut Ridge, Arkansas. Last night, the community held a candlelight vigil. Sydney's mother says there's no way the teen would just run off.
Sydney, we love you. I miss you, and I want you to come home. We are not going to give up. I'm going to fight, and I'm going to search as long as I breathe.
Family and friends are also posting flyers and information on social media sites. An Arkansas man is locked up accused of running from deputies and possessing drugs. Baxter County deputies arrested 20-year-old Andrew Morris this morning. Investigators were checking out a disturbance call and say when they showed up, Morris tried to run away. Deputies used a taser to stop him. They say he was carrying several morphine pills and what appeared to be a marijuana pipe. 3 Southwest Missouri escapees were found in a scrapyard. The men went through the ceiling to escape from the Butler County Jail. Cade Stringfellow was charged with second-degree murder for the death of his infant son. Matthew Cook is charged with first-degree murder for the February shooting death of a man at a McDonald's parking lot in Advance, Missouri. And Rodney Joe Green is accused of robbing and shooting a couple during a home invasion in February. Google owes Missouri $325 $24,000 as part of a lawsuit settlement. The Attorney General's office announced the deal today. 39 states sued, claiming Google used unsecured Wi-Fi networks to collect data. Google has since stopped the practice and must destroy that data they collected. The total settlement with all states is $7 million. State lanes, meanwhile, are closed on Interstate 44 here in Springfield. Crews are working on the West Bypass Bridge. Westbound lanes are closed until 1 a.m. Then eastbound lanes will close until 6 a.m. New at 10, country superstar Clint Black is coming back to Branson. He'll perform at the Moon River Theater this fall. The performances are Friday, October 4th and Saturday, October 5th. Both shows are at 8 p.m. Tickets are on sale now. Black also performed in Branson last year. It is a common health problem as we age.
When I hit a golf ball, it went out of sight on every shot.
Local doctors have a new way to remove cataracts. In our Family Matters report, what makes it safer and more precise than the traditional surgery. And if you haven't already found Color 10 on Facebook, it is easy to do. Look for the Facebook icon on ozarksfirst.com and like our page. Tonight's Family Matters report, by the time we reach 80 years old, half of all Americans have had a cataract or cataract surgery. That's according to the National Institutes of Health. Usually they're removed by blade during surgery, but Color 10's Shannon Miller explains patients at Mercy's Eye and Ear Center are seeing new technology to take care of their cataracts.
Seeing started to change for Jerry McSpadden after he developed cataracts in both eyes. He noticed a difference both day.
When I'd hit a golf ball, it went out of sight on every shot.
At night.
Headlights of cars, lights in buildings, traffic lights.
His doctor suggested he undergo cataract removal surgery, a procedure traditionally done with a blade. But at Mercy's Eye and Ear Center, patients like Jerry are now seeing their surgeries carried out in a new way.
Probably the best choice at the time.
Breathe it down a little bit more. That's good.
The blade-free laser cataract surgery now offered at the center maps out the eye and makes a precise cut to break up cataracts. Its technology, Dr. Johan Oli says, allows for more accuracy.
It's much more precise and there's less damage to the structures inside the eye as a result of that.
The laser surgery at the center comes with no additional cost. Patients also still have the option to upgrade their new lens implants if they choose to.
The lens implant that we put into your eye is picked just like we picked the power in your glasses.
You did wonderful. You did all right in there? For patients like Jerry, the difference is day and night.
I hope I'll be able to see better, for one thing.
His vision now much more clear. In Springfield, Shannon Miller, Color 10 News.
Flu cases are nearly gone in Greene County. The health department reports 18 cases showed up last week. That's 6 straight weeks of declining numbers. The health department says flu season is not over, but the risk of infection is now much lower. And Jamie, once it warms up, hopefully everyone will start feeling better.
Yeah, we had a little dose of it this past weekend on Saturday, and we're going to get another dose of it later this week. I think the best day of the work week is going to be Friday. Why? Sunshine and highs in the 70s. After that, it's back to cool and wet conditions. We'll take a look at that in your 7-day forecast coming up.
And now weather with Color 10 News Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner.
All right, outside right now, skies are clear. Temperatures are chilly, and they're about to go below freezing again. Temperature right now 37. Winds breezy out of the northwest this evening. Air has been drying out a little bit. And it looks like we're going to see a slightly colder night tonight than we saw last night. Temperatures tonight likely going into the mid-20s with maybe a few spots getting as low as 23 overnight tonight. Now, conditions are quiet. That area of cloudiness we had earlier in the day that kind of swept across areas north of Highway 60, particularly up toward Highway 54. 24, brought with it a little bit of light rain shower activity. That has moved on off to the east. Skies are clear now, and now we're sort of waiting for our next little disturbance that will generate some clouds, and that's actually located back here. You can see this area of cloud cover kind of getting started right there. That area of clouds will also make its way gradually towards the east-southeast overnight tonight and through the daytime hours on Wednesday, and will probably lead to sort of a cloudy finish to our Wednesday. But much of Wednesday actually looking fairly sunny. Let's take it hour by hour. Overnight tonight, don't really expect much in the way of cloud cover, and under clear skies, I mentioned it will get cold out there, so look for a frosty start to your Wednesday. And then during the day on Wednesday, the first half of the day looks sunny. Once we get past lunchtime, and you can see here we are at noon, the eastern edge of these clouds approaching Highway 65. It looks like those clouds will probably overspread Springfield around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then you can see how the clouds are looking rather thick across much of Missouri and Arkansas to wrap up the day heading into the evening hours. This will be short-lived though, and we'll see these clouds move out, and it looks like we'll find clear conditions returning to the area overnight Wednesday night. The other story is the fact that we're still on the east side of this high that's been bringing us the colder weather, and it looks like the combination of clouds in the afternoon and this high still being to our west is going to lead to a chilly day again on Wednesday, with afternoon highs only around 50 degrees. After Wednesday, the area high pressure will slide on off to the east, and we're going to find a big rise in the temperature. Springtime's a coming, folks. Can't stop it, and we get these little waves of warmth, and we're going to find yet another wave of warmth later this week. Highs well into the 60s on Thursday, and I think we're a lock for 70s on Friday. Not only that, but it's going to be mostly sunny as well. Should be a beautiful finish to this work week, but the weekend I wish I could say was going to stay the same. It will not. We'll find another front dropping south through the Ozarks Saturday morning. It'll put on the brakes across Arkansas. North of the front, a chilly air mass. South of the front, a warm air mass. And here in between in the Ozarks, an air mass battleground. And as disturbances interact with that, we're going to find rounds of rain. Looks like we'll probably find our first round of rain developing Saturday night and lasting through much of Sunday. We'll get some thunder with that and some of the rainfall locally heavy. Now, I think we'll probably see maybe an inch or more of rain out of that round of rain, and then we'll probably find some more showers on Monday as a front pushes across the area. So we've got some unsettled weather, I think, later in the weekend and early next week to deal with. Overnight tonight, though, clear, 24 for the overnight low here in town. Looks like upper 20s more common across northern Arkansas. Winds will remain out of the northwest, dying down about 5 to 10 miles per hour as the night wears on. For tomorrow, sunny for much of the day, but mid to late afternoon, look for partly to mostly cloudy skies. Highs near 50 degrees. Better chance to hit 50 to the west and south of Springfield. After that, nothing but good to talk about for Thursday, Friday. There's your weekend forecast. Looks like a partly cloudy day on Saturday, a bit cooler, and then kind of wet on St. Patrick's Day. Could hear some thunder, and it looks like quite a bit cooler still with highs only in the low 50s on Sunday. And if it turns out to be a very wet day where it's just kind of raining all day long, we may not even make it out of the 40s that day.
A really dreary day then coming up for the weekend.
So for the St. Patrick's Day weekend, I think the pick day is probably going to be Saturday. And there's a lot of things going on, I know, here in town in Springfield.
So maybe the rain will hold off.
Yeah, I think it will.
Okay.
For Saturday.
All right, that's good news. Thanks, Jamie.
We got length, we got size, and we are defending pretty good right now. I like where we're at defensively.
Mizzou coach Frank Haith says his Tigers are ready for the SEC tournament, and Drury Hoops has a long winning streak on the line. That's all next in sports.
Now, the Chevy Dealer Sports Report with Dan Lucy.
The Drury Panthers might just be one of the hottest teams in all of college basketball, no matter what the division. Steve Hesser's Panthers have won a school record 17 straight games, including Sunday's GLVC tournament championship game. Overall, Drury 25-4, playing its best basketball of the season. Panthers are ranked 7th in the D2 coaches poll. They're the top seed and the host for the NCAA's Midwest Regional. Drury will take on Findlay out of Ohio on Saturday night at 6, and the Panthers say that they're not content with just making the NCAAs.
I have enough confidence in our team that we can go, deep and far into this postseason. But it is comes down to how much we want it and the will and the fight that we have to accomplish that goal.
And those goals they're always there, and they'll be in the back of our minds. We just want to focus on the next game every time we step on the court and be focused on that game and not look past any of these games we're about to play.
Both the Mizzou Tigers and Arkansas Razorbacks will tip off Southeastern Conference tournament play on Thursday night in Nashville. Hogs playing Vanderbilt at 6:30 on Thursday. Mizzou taking on the winner of Texas A&M and Auburn. That's at 9. You'll be able to see those games in the entire SEC tournament on our news partner KOZL. And in our Tiger Nation report tonight, Frank Kate's Mizzou team has won 3 of its last 4, but the last game, a loss at Tennessee. And the Tigers have lost 8 road games this year. Missouri is 3-1, though, in neutral court games.
It's a neutral court game, neutral site game, and we've been pretty good on neutral site games, so that's the psyche we tell our guys. Because all you guys are right about how bad we've been on the road, and we're not playing on the road. We're playing on a neutral site game, so that's what we're going to tell our guys. You got to have a little star power, which I think we do have, and then we got length, we got size, and we are defending pretty good right now. I like where we're at defensively.
The last time that Chase Daniel played football at Arrowhead Stadium, his Mizzou Tigers lost to Kansas. Daniel will see a lot more of Arrowhead this fall. That's because the Kansas City Chiefs signed the free agent quarterback to be a backup to Alex Smith. It's reportedly a 3-year, $3 million contract. Today is also the first day of the NFL's business year, and the Kansas City Chiefs trade with San Francisco became official. KC getting quarterback Alex Smith in exchange for this year's second-round draft pick and a conditional pick next season. He spent 8 seasons in San Francisco. The Evangel Crusaders baseball team took advantage of today's nice weather to make up a game with College of the Ozarks. Evangel 13-7 going into the action. The Bobcats jump on Crusader pitching early, 1-0 when Tyler Lopez shoots the gap with a double, scoring Trevor Bowl, and 2-0. Then Malachi Melton would rip this shot to center. It would go over the boards and gone for a 2-run shot to make it 4-0 Bobcats. Evangel would get one of them back, bases loaded, and Michael Headley would get hit by the pitch. Brandon Cobb scores 4-1. College of the Ozarks goes on to win 10-4. Missouri State Bears opened a 2-game series at Arkansas State tonight. Bears win 6-2 and 11. Tate Matheny belting a 3-run homer to lift Missouri State to victory. Springfield Lasers drafted their team today that will join Andy Roddick. Jean-Julien Roger and Rick DeVos will be on the men's side. Russian Alicia Klebanova and Vania King make up the women's side of the roster. The first match July 8th. Roddick will be in Springfield on July 13th. And St. Louis Blues back on the home ice following Arch Madness. Blues hosting San Jose. First period. Puck goes to Chris Stewart. Wrist shot. Back of the net. 10th goal of the season. Blues are up 1-0. In the second period, nice pass from Patrick Berlin to David Perron. And he would one-time it in to make it 2-0, and then 10 seconds left in the second period. The Blues are up 2-1 off of the deflection. Chris Porter puts it in. Blues up 3-1. St. Louis goes on to win 4-2. So the Blues win. They pulled up the basketball floor and had a hockey arena underneath it.
Hey, it's
amazing.
That time of year, I guess. It's pretty cool how they do that, huh? Yeah. All right, thanks, Dan. We'll be right back.
Here are tonight's winning lottery numbers. Color 10 News will continue in a moment.
Well, tomorrow night's going to be a big start to the SEC tournament.
Yeah, the SEC tournament starts in Nashville tomorrow. You can see the whole tournament on KOZL, our news partner, 27. I believe triple headers every night, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Thursday, Mizzou and Arkansas playing.
Lots of basketball watching to be had this week. Thanks, Dan, and thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you tomorrow.